Hello.
Hello.
Say hello.
I don't know if I'm logged in right or not. Can anybody explain it to me?
You're logged in.
We can hear you loud and clear. Sounds like you're on the right call.
There are people unable to join the call because we're at a participant limit, by the way.
Are we supposed to be viewing something outside of this? Your video is disabled?
I'm one of the parents. One of the other parents is trying to log into the call. We can't see anything. I can only hear everything. But it's not allowing the other parent to join. We're at some sort of limit.
Do you know how many participants this call is able to hold?
They're viewing it and it's saying we're at like 1ish.
It doesn't even say. It just says.
It looks like there's 160 people on, and it's blocking people from joining.
Microphone check, microphone check. Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. This is School Principal Taylor Porter. This meeting is being recorded. This meeting will be shared on our school website to allow access for everyone and anyone who may be unable to join. Right now, we are at 160 participants, and we're going to go ahead and begin the program for this evening. So first and foremost, thank you. This is our parent orientation. We've got a really long agenda, and so I want to be able to get right into it. The first thing I want to say is welcome to school year 2020. As you all know, on August 3rd, our school board made a decision to go full virtual for the first 5 weeks of the school year. And so we spent June and July planning a lot of different pieces to keep your sons and daughters safe for returning to school in a blended environment. And then August 3rd, we decided to make it 100% virtual and go back to the drawing board and try to figure out, and I think a lot of you are experiencing right now, it's not always easy, it's not always smooth. But one thing that we want to be able to do is be patient, be flexible, and give everyone a chance to figure out how to do technology the right way. Okay, and so right now, I'm sitting here with a room full of parents. I've got an 8th grader at home. I've been on the phone 3 times today with my sister, who's got 2 students, one in 7th grade, one in 9th grade. And so I want you all to know my approach is to be in the trenches with you, to go through this process together. And as soon as we get our bearings straight, I can promise you we'll take great care of your sons and daughters and deliver that world-class experience that everyone has signed up for. And so I want to show you the agenda. I'm going to share a slide deck with you. A couple of pieces of housekeeping to make sure we can keep communication clear. Please go on mute. We'll save space at the end of the program for questions and answers and responses. Throughout this program, you'll hear from multiple staff members, multiple teachers, counselors, our resource coordinator. So what I'd like to respectfully ask is if everyone can go on mute to make sure we can all hear the information as clearly as possible. And at the end of the program, we'll save, record, and we will share this to our school website as soon as tomorrow to allow access to those who could not log in. If you have a question that you want to make sure we cover tonight, please take advantage of the chat room. We have our assistant principal, Ms. Few, that's moderating the chat room. I'll also be able to download the questions in the chat room, collect the questions, and type up responses that I can also share out via Sunday robocall, or I can post to our school website. So I'm going to go ahead and begin sharing my screen, and we'll get into tonight's program. Okay, so as I was explaining, we've got quite a few pieces of information we want to make sure all of you have tonight. Some of the information will be regarding CPS as a district, but really the goal for tonight is to talk specifically about Gamble as much as possible, and then to be able to satisfy your questions and concerns. And so first up, I know we've got a lot of different people with us, but I want to start with some of our junior high teams. We're going to go through each team and allow them to give you a preview of what you can expect. So first up, from the 7th and 8th grade community, we have the community of original learners, and I'll turn it over. And again, if you all would like to go on mute to make sure we can communicate clearly, I believe we have Miss Olivia Schaefer joining us for this piece of the presentation.
Miss Schaefer about to talk.
All right, so Ms. Schaefer, Mr. Pardee, this is Julia Bauer. I'll be teaching math and science, the community of original learners, or COOL.
Oh, Miss Bauer talking.
Hi.
I teach language and social studies on COOL as well. And Mr. Pardee's here somewhere. He is our interventionist, and he also co-teaches math and language arts. And we're really excited this school year with you guys.
Okay, next up we have Team LA.
Team LA. It say I'm on mute.
Just turn this on. Why?
Okay, so I believe for the Luminous Achievers, we have Mr. Brantley, Ms. Bruner, and Ms. Hayes. I believe we have one of those team members on the call. I want to turn it over to them at this time. Otherwise, I know we've got quite a few other staff members prepared and ready to roll. And so what I want to do is keep on going and see if we have anyone from the United Leaders that want to preview their community.
Sure, I'll go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining on tonight. We are the United Leaders Junior High community. I'll go to the picture below. You see on the left, Miss Edmondson, our math and science teacher, myself, Mr. Westrick, our intervention specialist and math and ELA co-teacher, and Mr. Wheatley on the right, our ELA and social studies teacher. On the right side, you'll see our platforms that we plan on using throughout the first month of school for sure, and if that continues, we'll also be on there as well. Students, if you're on, pay special attention to that link right below where we will find you on Wednesday at 3 o'clock for the United Leaders Community Orientation. But until then, we will see you hopefully either tomorrow or Wednesday for the material pickup. So I think that's what I got, and I'll send it off to Zenko, I believe.
Hi, everyone. This is Miss Martinez.
And this is Miss Hill.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Miss Hill signed off of her computer to make space for other people, so we keep our masks on, but we're so happy to meet you and to see our returning students this week. Tomorrow and Wednesday, just like Mr. Westrick said, is a supply pickup. We're happy to meet you in the front of the building and give you the materials that you need. And we also look forward to seeing you at 3 p.m. on Wednesday for our student orientation?
No, nothing to add. We're really excited to be meeting you all this week and getting started on.
Miss Roz, did you get in? Did you get one of those last spots on the call? All right, she's not here with us. That's all from us.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Thank you, Ms. Hill. Next up, I want to preview one of the most exciting parts of Gamble Montessori, and that's just the tremendous amount of growth that our school is experiencing. And so part of that growth means new staffing and new communities. And so I'll turn it over to Ms. Lytle, Mr. Kit Martinez, and Ms. Westrick.
Hi. Hello, this is Ms. Westerly, and I'm new to Gamble this year. Along with Ms. Lytle, we both have plenty of Montessori experience to bring, but we're very happy to join Mr. Martinez as our intervention specialist and co-teacher, and Mr. Abraham, who is our paraprofessional. We can't wait to meet all of our new students tomorrow and the next day. We're excited to get through this together, and seeing you tomorrow and Wednesday. Make sure that the lines of communication stay open, and hoping for a good year. Thanks.
Thank you, Emily. Next up, representing the high school, we have the A team.
Hi, everybody. It's exciting to see so many parents on the call. My name is Maria Chow. I am the team leader and the science teacher for the A team. We are excited to welcome a whole new crew of 9th grade students to our team of 9th and 10th graders. Our team this year is made up of 2 intervention specialists, Ms. Terry and Mr. Favors, geometry teacher, Ms. Rigney, history teacher, Scott Sulik, and English teacher, Ashley Kane, and myself, Maria Chow. Teachers will be putting all information for classes on Schoology, and some teachers will be using Google Classroom, but that information is also on Schoology. We are looking forward to welcoming all of your children and your students on Wednesday at 3 p.m. for our kickoff. So excited to see you over the next few days and excited to start the school year.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ms. Chow. Next up, we have the Universal Trailblazers.
This is Miss Melissa. I'm actually the intervention specialist for the Universal Trailblazers. And we are also a brand new team. We were split last year from the main 910 team. So we split into the A team and the Universal Trailblazers. And we will have all Google Meet codes in our Schoology classes. And Tuesday and Wednesday, yet again, we all have our meetings with the students to come pick up supplies. We have in our team Mrs. Erin Whirl, Miss Christina Halsey, and both of them teach Spanish. We have Mr. Stephen Yulhorn, who teaches our history classes. We have Miss Dana Trotter, who teaches English, Mr. Bayhue, which teaches Algebra 1, Mr. Roebuck, who teaches physical science, and Miss Gabby Allen, who is our team paraprofessional. And we have all of our pictures off here to the side. And we definitely look forward to seeing everybody. And I see quite a few parents that I know in the chat. And hello to all of you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Melissa. We're going to flow right along to the 11-12 team. And again, families and friends and parents, if you don't mind going on mute, that would really help us keep all communication as clear as possible. Thank you.
I get stuck in like I never regret anything I did because you learn from.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. My name is Brandon Ogilby, and I am the 11 and 12 grade English and AP literature teacher for this year. I've been at Gamble now for 4 years, but I've been in the
Please
district.
mute your phone.
Thank you. That's a great reminder. To please mute yourself so that everybody can hear. Our team is rapidly growing. This year, we have added Mr. Evan Deacon, who is formerly with the junior high. You may know him or have worked with him in the past. He's coming up to the 11-12 team to teach government and English. We also have Mr. Josh Vogt teaching psychology. He's been with Gamble for over 10 years. Mr. Banks teaching chemistry. He's also been with Gamble for quite a long time. Miss Erin Wilson teaching Algebra 2. Mr. Denny Gilday is our instructional assistant. And of course, we have Mr. Matt Kane and Miss Bala as our 2 intervention specialists. The 11-12 team is committed to speaking with each of you over the phone in the next 2 days. So be prepared to receive a call either from myself.
Okay.
The 11-12 team uses primarily Google Classroom as well as Schoology. Okay, so you'll be able to find all of the course codes and access information on Schoology, and that may direct you over to Google Classroom. So by the time your child reaches grade 11, they're probably familiar with Google Classroom. So we hope to utilize that platform as well. And we cannot wait to see you and your students at our pickup days tomorrow and Wednesday. We have a lot of supplies and student devices and AP class materials that those kids need access to. So we will be passing those out tomorrow and Wednesday. Thanks again. I look forward to working with all of you, and I'm going to pass it back to the specialists.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ogilvy. Thank you to all of our teams and the communities, and I want to make sure I give an opportunity to our specialists and also to our unit interventionists as well to be able to come on and share a couple of tidbits with our families.
Hello, Gamble staff and Gamble parents. It's really great that all of you could be on tonight. This is Brian Provenzano. I'm one of the unit interventionists. My team consists of Jessica Birding, who does the junior high autism, Brian Corte, who is high school autism, Sheila Leibcap also does junior high multiple disabilities, Mary Lou Priestley, high school multiple disabilities, and myself, I am also high school multiple disabilities. The main platform we're going to be using here is Schoology. A lot of information on Schoology. I encourage you guys to get on with your students and look through that. We will also be using the Unique Learning System and another website called IXL, which is a great website to go to where students can work independently on math and language arts skills. We will be doing a binder, a learning binder pass out tomorrow and Wednesday. So it's important to come pick that up. There's a lot of useful information along with all the access codes and logins that you will need. And our team is planning a technology run through on the 27th on Thursday, and each specific teacher will be in touch with the parents to make sure all your students are signed up and logged in for that so we can work out any of the bugs. Looking forward to a great year. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much, Mr. Provenzano. And there are a number of things that make Gamble Montessori special. And I think one of those, without doubt, would be the reputation of us taking care of students that have special needs. And Mr. Provenzano really helps us to lead that charge. That's one of the things that we're really proud of here at Gamble Montessori is welcoming students of all backgrounds and all walks of life and all ability levels. And so we're really, really proud of the hard work of all of our intervention specialists. Another thing that obviously is unique about our program and our school is our Montessori philosophy. And so I'm going to call on Mr. Banks, I believe he's on the call with us, to really go a little bit deeper into what makes Gamble special and why is a Montessori program really the right way to go to take care of kids. Mr. Banks, are you with us?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Porter. Well, as you know, there are a lot of things that we do at our school that really make our school special, and it would be impossible to go over all of them right now. But as you go out, as you families go out into the world and talk about Montessori education, there are a couple things that I think are really kind of the highlight of what we do. Montessori said that students are kind of being reborn again, but this time, instead of the first time, like when they were born into your family and into your small, close-knit group, this time they're actually being born into society. So it's our job as a school to help the young people understand the times in which they live. And we do that with two main ways, real world experiences and community service. Now, we take our students out into the real world as much as we can so that they can learn from experts in the field, so that they see what they've been studying in their books and how it applies to the real world around them. And then we also give them a chance to serve the community. They find underrepresented groups that they're passionate about, and they see how they can make a difference. So after 6 years of this, the Montessori graduate is a young person who not only understands that they can apply what they learn in school to the real world and what that looks like, they also understand how they can make a difference in the world. That's why you see Montessori graduates going out and volunteering and advocating for people, because they've been doing that for 6 years now. They've been organizing and taking the lead, and that's really what we do. We let them experience the real world. And this all leads to valorization, the feeling of self-worth, because they know they can make a difference in the world. And that's two things that I really hope everyone takes away from tonight, is we do real world experiences. We're not just learning from books. We're seeing how it applies, and we also give students a chance to see what they can do to help others, to be part of our community, a positive member of it. And that's the two reasons I hope everyone takes away why Montessori. Thank you, Mr. Porter.
Wow, thank you so much, Jason Banks. I know that here in my second year of school leadership at Gamble Montessori, Mr. Banks is one of my go-to people as far as continuing to deepen my understanding of the Montessori philosophy. And I just want to really reiterate to everyone on the call that we have so many talented, passionate, and committed teachers. And all of our teachers have either completed their training in Montessori education or in process of completing their training, or they're an expert like Jason Banks is. And so, Jason, thank you so much for sharing with us. I really appreciate that. Okay. So,
I believe Miss Edmondson might want to add something about the junior high at this time.
Please do. That'd be wonderful. Miss Edmondson, are you with us?
Yes, thank you, Jason. Welcome, families. I know that many of you are new families to Gamble, 7th grade families, and maybe even 8th and up in the high school. And so we do want to welcome you. I just want to give those families who aren't as familiar with how a Montessori classroom looks or what it looks like, just a little bit of why we do what we do and how our classrooms are organized, especially in the junior high. I am a 7th and 8th grade teacher for the United Leaders community. This is going to be my 6th year at Gamble. And so one thing that keeps me at Gamble is the community feel that we incorporate in our classrooms and that our students experience, as well as the parents and the families. So we have a 2-year cycle. Your students are with us for 2 years, and that goes up into the high school as well. And so we become very close. We get to know our students, the parents, and vice versa. These multi-age classrooms are so wonderful because students are able to experience leadership in their adolescent years with peers, as well as just around the classroom, taking responsibilities away from the teachers. That's one of the ideas that Maria Montessori really believed, is that students should be able to work and run different things in the classroom independently. We have a lot of hands-on activities, choice, and differentiation so that your child is able to learn and grow in a way that's not tracked. They have room for growth, and maybe that requires some remediation or acceleration depending on the topic. We use data and different pieces from the classroom and observations to help the students determine where they are. And so their pace may change or alter depending on their needs. And that's something that we're really proud of as Montessorians, is that we see growth in so many different ways, not only academically, but social and emotional as well. And so the students are able to self-check and kind of gauge themselves and learn that skill as they're working in the classroom and learning in the classroom alongside their peers as well as their teachers. So we're really proud of the community that we create and the environment that we have, so that your students and your kiddos can learn and grow.
And again, another one of our experts and experienced teachers, Ms. Edmondson, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing, and another true asset to Gamble Montessori. So if you have not had the opportunity to meet Ms. Edmondson, I am sure in due time you'll have that opportunity. So Krista, thank you so much. At this point in the agenda, I want to transition to some of the new safety measures that we're putting in place here at Gamble Montessori. A lot of the safety plan took place in June and early July, and we actually formed a committee. The committee included different stakeholders all throughout the building, and our job was really to take the parameters and the mandate that we received from our district leadership and make it fit for Gamble Montessori High School. And so I've got an entire safety plan that's about 30 slides long. I will not share all 30 right now. What we've tried to pull out the highlights, and we're just going to touch on this briefly. And I just want to repeat, not only will we share this video playback on our website, we'll also share links to the entire safety plan and operations plan that fits for our school. And so what I'm going to do right now is give you a few of the highlights. Please take advantage of the chat room, continue to ask your questions, and we'll get those answered as quickly and as efficiently as we can. This is not just Gamble. This is just really good practice for all of us everywhere at all times, is this idea of social distancing and making sure you're at least 6 feet away from anyone, making sure that you're wearing your mask at all times, and just taking care of those hand sanitizing stations, hand washing, using soap, 20 seconds minimum. We're putting this into our school through coaching, through including it in part of our lesson planning. We've got signage on our floor, signage on our walls. We have added materials and hand sanitizing stations to all of the entry points for our school building. And so one of the reasons we're at home right now, it's just a guarantee that when we do return, we can keep everybody as safe as possible. And a part of that plan to keeping everyone safe, to keep your sons and daughters safe, is just the idea of physical distancing. We've got a pretty unique opportunity on our campus to get outdoors. Not only is that something we value as a Montessori-based school, but we also have the acreage to do so. And so that'll be something that'll be class by class, teacher by teacher, as far as utilizing those outdoor classroom spaces. Something that's important to know for parents, this year we are not going to assign lockers. Last year we experienced some ups and downs as we opened up the new building, and construction of facilities was ongoing. And there was a point in time when students had to share lockers. Obviously that's not a good idea and something we don't want to get into this year. So we're going to go ahead and establish right out of the gates that no lockers will be assigned for this school year. Okay. Again, part of what our responsibility is, from admin to counselors to teachers, is just to really help teach each other this COVID protocol. It's new to all of us. We're all learning it, but because it's so serious, we just want to make sure we continue to support each other as we teach the COVID-19 protocol. And teachers will go further into that at their team-specific orientation. And again, some of this is really thinking about when we come back and have that blended environment in person. And some of this is still true for this virtual environment. Okay. When we return in person, obviously, we won't gather in a large space. We're using a platform right now that school administration, myself, Ms. Few typically use to host meetings called Blue Jeans. Your teachers will lean on Schoology and Google to host their meetings. And again, there's no large gatherings at this time. At this time, athletic competition is also postponed. We are following the OSHA guidelines. We do have student athletes that are conducting skill sessions and small group workouts. There's another set of regulations and policy that our athletic director, Mr. Miller, is implementing with our athletic department. Again, we're in a different environment. And normally, sharing materials and taking care of each other, that's something that we really want to teach and coach up in our young people and our students. But at this time, due to COVID-19, we're not in a position to share materials. Our custodial team has received extra training to be able to know how to clean for COVID-19. Our custodial team, led by Mr. Fredericks, they do a wonderful job. They take care of all the high-touch areas, and on an individual class-by-class basis, teachers will have protocols in place to take care of their classroom. Something that I'm really excited about is this idea of a one-to-one device or one-to-one technology. That means that every single student will have a laptop assigned to them. So in the past, we would have a cart in a classroom. Students would share. Every bell, they may have a different laptop. That is something that we won't continue. We have now officially become a one-to-one school. I know this summer we ran 5 different opportunities to pick up devices. And again, on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, we'll run even more opportunities to come to campus and pick up those devices. And again, sharing materials is just something that goes counter to those safety protocols that we want to implement. This, again, as far as morning routines and morning arrival, not necessarily a big deal right now, but it will be once we return in a blended environment. A few of the steps that we put in place is really just all hands on deck. Again, from admin to teachers to security to our paraprofessionals to our counselors, we are truly in a place where we're going to take care of each other and support each other. That way we can put our students in the safest and best possible situation. And so for the morning routines this year, you'll be assigned an entry point based on where you open up your school day in first or second bell, depending on if it's an even bell day or an odd bell day. We will have 4 entry points. We'll have not only the temperature checks, we'll have security at each one of those entry points. We will also have multiple food carts. This year's morning arrival, Metro buses will still drop off on Epworth. Our yellow buses will still drop off in the front work circle. Students will come in. We will do a safety check, a health check, and we'll have a breakfast cart nearby, as well as sanitation stations nearby. Students would actually eat breakfast in classrooms this year, which is very different than what it's been in years past. That same program will be followed for lunch, and we will continue to communicate that as we prepare for a blended environment. Obviously, for right now, the next few weeks, this is not something that you're going to experience, but when you return, the routines will be different than what you've seen in years prior. This year, we have Miss Leah as our school nurse. Leah just joined us this week. She'll be running our clinic. She'll also serve as a point of contact for all of our COVID-19 protocols and to help us make sure we're taking care of students and staff to the best of our ability and keeping everyone safe. Again, we have a fully operating clinic on our first floor. We've actually had to make some adjustments to include an isolation room or an isolation space in case someone is displaying symptoms or has a temperature that is above the threshold. And so we have a clinic and we have a separate isolation room here in our building for this school year. again, August 3rd, the school board and superintendent made the announcement and made the decision that we would open up for the first 5 weeks in a fully remote environment. Teachers have done a really good job to prepare, but they've also prepared for emergencies. We all know that we're still learning about the COVID-19 virus, but we want to be prepared to the best of our ability if it were to hit home. And so not only have teachers really been putting in a lot of hours to prepare, they've also prepared for any kind of sub-plan that may have to come into effect. Something that's really important is Schoology. Schoology will be our home base this year for remote learning. You'll have access to Schoology. We will share logins on Tuesday and Wednesday. Schoology will be your home base. Obviously, first base, second base, and third base will be up to your team and your teachers. There will be other platforms you'll need, but Schoology is the starting point. This is a unique time. Every year we pass out a handbook. This year we've got a handbook. We will get physical handbooks as soon as possible, but you all do have access to a virtual student handbook on our school website. It'll be shared out in this presentation. It's also on the virtual website for our high school. The handbook will talk through a lot of the bullet points you see here as far as what to expect during distance learning, how you can stay connected. The attendance and grading is really something I want to call your attention to. We did receive feedback and, quite honestly, a lot of frustration from the spring and what took place in March, April, and May, and just some of the struggles that we all went through from students, parents, and teachers. And so something that we do want to be clear on is the attendance will be tracked, and then there's an expectation for attendance to every class. And grading in the spring was a pass or incomplete. That is out of the window, and we are returning to our traditional grading scale starting this fall. And so we will certainly go into more details on a team-by-team basis at your Wednesday student orientations. But I want to make sure all of our parents are aware. Attendance and grading are expectations. And so we've got a number of staff to reach out to if you need help or if there's any kind of barrier to attending or to participating in the classroom sessions. The first resource and the first person to always point parents to or students to if they need help would be Ms. Hollis, our resource coordinator. This year we welcome Mr. Keller as our school social worker that has access to a lot of other resources. And without doubt, you can always just reach out to the main office and work through Ms. Loma, through Ms. Few, and through myself if there's anything that's getting in the way of attendance to any of your remote learning classes. Okay, so this may be a little blurry. I've got a link to this. When I share it with you, you can all view it. But ultimately on Wednesday, it's going to be a very unique schedule. On Monday and Thursday, students will have even bell classes. On Tuesday and Friday, students will have odd bell classes. Okay? Monday through Friday, students and parents would have access to teachers through office hours. That'll take place from 3 o'clock to 3:45, Monday through Friday. What I'm sharing right now is our bell schedule for the remote learning window. So this is for the next 5 weeks. As we return to campus in a blended in-person environment, we will adjust the schedule accordingly to allow more traditional bell times and classroom time to take place. Again, I just want to repeat, I will share this deck with everyone. There's a link that makes this picture really, really clear if you click on the link virtual schedule. Ultimately, I want to call your attention to Monday and Thursday as even bell days, Tuesday and Friday as odd bell days, and there's a one-off coming up after Labor Day, and there will be a unique schedule that teachers will review with students during that orientation on Wednesday. The bell schedule is the reflection of the master schedule, and this is where I really call your attention to one of our 11-12 teachers, Ms. Wilson. Ms. Aaron does a phenomenal job and really leads the efforts and helps me make sense of our schedule and build a schedule that allows every student to be successful and to stay on track for graduation. And it's a really large undertaking. And so not only on a good year is it a large undertaking, in this environment of COVID-19, with the number of staffing adjustments we had to make, the number of decisions that were kind of turned over, almost what felt like on a day-by-day basis, building a schedule for a fully virtual environment, building a schedule for a blended environment. Our real focus was on how do we keep safety as a priority, and then how do we ensure all of our students remain in a space to where they're on track for graduation. And so for all of my high school parents, that's a really, really big deal. And I know Miss Jody Patterson will share in just a few more slides. If you are a high school parent, please take advantage of the opportunity to request a schedule change as soon as possible. Again, if you're a high school parent, your student would have signed up for 2 electives or 2 specials. If they are signed up for specials that they would like to change, there is a form that they can fill out to request that change. I would love to help you do that as soon as possible. And so this deck will be shared out tonight. It'll be on our school website tomorrow. And there is also a communication in our Sunday robocalls and our Sunday emails that you can take a look at to walk through that schedule change process. Again, we've got a few more really important people that I want to share the floor with. Nobody's more important than Miss Jessica League. Miss League does a phenomenal job making sure all of your sons and daughters and all of our students are taken care of and they're getting access to high quality meals. I want to go on mute and give the floor to Miss League. Miss League, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Okay, there's can everybody hear me? I just want to make sure. Let me go to the chat to make sure. So our new meal plan distribution will be every Wednesday from 12 to 4. Everyone should have received a blue piece of paper in the mail. I know the robocall said yellow. It was a miscommunication. They should have gotten a blue piece of paper in the mail. If you did not receive one, I will be at the information pickup tomorrow, the materials pickup. So you can stop by my tent and I will give you all the papers you will need for that. There's a map that you will follow. You'll come in the Epworth side. It's not a parking lot, but it goes to the swamp. It's the reverse graduation route that we took. So you'll pick a meal up for 5 days from me, 5 breakfasts, 5. And in it, there will be directions. There's a slip that you will look up and it'll give you all the nutritional facts and stuff on what your meals are, what your meals have in them. If you have any questions, you can always reach me via email, which is on the website, or my office number. So if you have anything, you put it in the chat. I can answer anything you might need. I think that's all I need. Is that right, Mr. Porter?
Yeah, and I'm really following your leadership as well as Ms. Wagers. I know that this is really a unique program this year. We'll start this on Wednesday of this week, if I heard you correctly, and this will be for the entire window of remote learning and even blended learning. There should be a Wednesday lunch pickup. Is that correct, Ms. League?
If we go back to blended, kids will get their regular in-house meal. But on days that they're not in school, they will be sent home with alternative meals. For the off days, they're not there. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it when that happens. But every Wednesday, you'll pick up your meals from me. I will stamp your piece of paper. But you don't have to come to Gamble. You can go to your nearest school. You don't have to come all the way to Gamble if you live on the other side of town. Please go to your nearest school. It could be high school, it could be elementary. We're trying to make this easy as possible for parents so they're not running all around the city. Students do not have to be with you to pick up the meals. As long as you have your piece of paper so I can stamp it, then it's as easy as possible. If you're on your way home and you see you're driving by Gamble and you could grab their meals for the week, please do so. 12 to 4, we'll be there waiting.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I know we've got a few more really important pieces to cover here, so I want to pass the floor to Miss Jody Patterson. Jody, are you with us?
Am. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me, Mr. Porter?
I sure can. Thank you. And the
Okay.
floor is all yours.
Okay, so what do counselors do? I just wanted to kind of make a few comments to so that I could let people know what I actually do, what we actually do. We do have another counselor that joined us last year, Kelly Mills. She's currently on maternity leave, but she will be back soon. What I want to go through is just some of the main tasks that we deal with on a regular basis. Pretty much in the school counseling profession, we meet students wherever they are. So we never know what kind of day it's going to be, what's going to come at us, and what kind of counseling we're going to have to deliver. When I say support and challenge, I mean that we are not always doing in-depth counseling. And if we have mental health issues that we need to address, we will usually refer those to Central Clinic, which is one of our community partners. And so the Central Clinic counselors will deal with some of those other counseling needs. But we want to support, and we are typically cheerleaders. We encourage students who are struggling. We often have to challenge them to do better and set realistic goals for themselves. We address both academic and personal concerns on a regular basis. This year, we are going to spend some group time each week with our students, and we will have lessons that either piggyback on advisory, or we may have some timely topics of our own. Cincinnati Public Schools has created and developed the 3E pathways. It is enrollment, enlistment, and employment. They have a whole college and career staff now that handles all of these events. One of the things that we will be doing is we will be working with that team, and we will be going out on these events with our students. It could be college fairs, employment fairs, college visits, and other events that will expose students to their options after graduation. So you'll hear that 3E quite a bit. I also serve as an AP coordinator and proctor tests along with Ms. Mills. Gamble typically has 3 AP courses every year. They rotate so that students can get a variety of subjects and possibly some college credit. I just want to kind of touch base on where we are right now with the pandemic and with a lot of the other things that have been going on in the last few months. Since students have been off, and since March, many of our students have been working from home. We know that they're a little ambivalent. They're not very excited, some of them, about getting back into the school routine. Some of them may be, but we really expect that they're probably going to share some of those emotions when they come back. I've even had a few people tell me that their kids are not excited about coming back. So we know that they're going to need some coaching and motivation to get back into the school routine, not to mention all of the distractions that might be at home. So we will be including SEL lessons, which stands for social and emotional learning, right from the beginning. Social and emotional learning is a process through which children and adults understand and manage their emotions, and it helps them to achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. We also know that students may have been listening and watching discussions about race and George Floyd. If this comes up and students want to talk about it, we will be there for them. We often think that kids are just kind of just sitting around and not paying attention, but I know a lot of this has really sunk in because I know that there are kids that I know that have mentioned it. So it's really important that we acknowledge this, that they have been around a lot of things while they've been off. And of course, we will be virtually supporting our seniors through the college admission process. And that's where we start.
Okay.
I keep trying to hit unmute and it won't let. Oh, I'm unmuted now. So is that normal? Hello?
Please go on mute.
I think I'll
Please
just
go
say
on
I'm
mute.
muted. Hi, I'm Adam Brewer's mother, ninth grader. Sorry, I'll unmute myself or mute myself again. Sorry.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Brewer. Please go on
Oh
mute.
yes,
We're
hi.
coming
How are
near
you?
the
I'm so
end.
sorry. I don't want to
We
interrupt the
are.
meeting. I've been listening. I had trouble getting on with my Microsoft, so I said to heck with it. I got my iPhone and just hit Blue Jeans. I tried Lee Barrington, then I just put Adam Brewer and I got on. I'm just going to sit back and listen to everything you guys got to say, and I'm going to take notes. Thank you for allowing me into your meeting. I appreciate it. I apologize. There was a death that I just found out in our family, and we just got back, and I apologize, but I'm here and I'm listening and I'm taking notes. So I'm going to go ahead and get muted again and just listen. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we have a few more important updates. I want to talk about the growth at Gamble, but Ms. Patterson, you did a wonderful job kind of outlining all the work that you're doing from the counseling office. Sometimes there's a little overlap with our resource coordinator, and I want to give the floor to Ms. Hollis to allow her to speak on more of what happens from her desk. Ms. Hollis, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our parent orientation meeting. I just wanted you to know that my role here as the Community Learning Center Resource Coordinator is to generate partnerships that will provide programs and services that meet the needs of our school, our students, and our families. So my goal basically is to make sure that I'm partnering with any agency, organization, or university that is helping our school and our students. Cincinnati Public Schools has tasked me with 5 areas to work on. One of those areas is academic learning supports. The next area is expanded learning opportunities. The third area is health and well-being. The fourth area is family engagement, and the fifth area is community connections. So within those particular 5 areas, I am tasked to work with different organizations and agencies, businesses, and community leaders to help us hit those target goals. And so if you guys are in need of any services or anything for your family or for your kids, just make sure you reach out to me, and then I can point you in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you, Ms. Hollis. And Ms. Brewer, if you don't mind staying on mute, we're going to go for maybe 5 more minutes. And then I've got a handful of questions that are coming in through the chat room. I would like to try to address a few questions as we prepare to close out. But ultimately, we are in really a historic moment. We are facing I call it Pandemic 1, which would have been the COVID-19, which shut us down right before spring break back in March. We're also, as Ms. Patterson alluded to, we're looking at Pandemic number 2, which really deals with a lot of the race relations that we're seeing, not just in Cincinnati, but it's really a nationwide movement at this point. And so our young people, our parents, our teachers, we're all living this historical moment together. And so, I think that we have an opportunity to do something special, to make some magic happen, and to create history that we can be proud of. And so I know that's what our teachers are focused on. That's what Ms. Few's focused on. That's what I'm focused on. And I think that the growth of Gamble
is also another really unique piece of what's going on. So over the past few years, we've experienced a change in scenery from Felicity Avenue to here on Work Road. We had a lot of challenges last year that we kind of banded together and stuck together, and we really ended up in a sweet place as far as having one of the premier school buildings in the entire district. Last year, we were gifted with almost $16 million in school renovations, from technology upgrades to furniture upgrades, and I really believe we have a school building we can be proud of, and I look forward to hopefully in the next 5 weeks bringing all of you at some point into this building. I do want to call your attention to the growth of the district and of Gamble. If I'm not mistaken, the entire school district is up a little over 500 students. And here at Gamble Montessori, we are plus almost 140 students. And so the amount of positive praise that we're receiving from students and families and the interest in joining our program, that's something that I know that our entire school is proud of. And we're excited again for all of you to join us tonight and to be a part of that growth here at Gamble Montessori. And so I want to give you a chance to meet a few other teachers, and then we'll answer a few questions. If you or anyone here in the front office, we're fired up. We're ready to make history. Go Gators, chomp chomp. Now, what I'm going to do is put this mask on and go introduce you to a few other really important people.
Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Dudley, your agriculture teacher. I'm so excited to be back in the building getting ready for you. We've got our family letters coming hot off the presses, and I'll see you guys when you come to pick up your things next week.
Hi parents, welcome 2021 school year. Can't wait to get it started, either virtually or in person. We'll rock it, Chomp chomp.
Hello Gators, old and new. We are looking forward to seeing you and to having you here. Ready for anything, and we're getting everything hit with us. So looking forward to seeing you. Have a great year. Bye.
All right, hello.
Hi, families! We're so excited to see you guys soon.
Is it the first day of school yet? We're waiting.
All right.
Can't wait.
Hello, I'm Alex Westrick. I'm the intervention specialist for the United Leaders community. Cannot wait to see you soon. Welcome to the year 2020-2021.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Rosalind Butts. I'm 7th and 8th grade math and science teacher for Zenco, and I'm excited to meet all of you and see all of my students' smiling faces. So welcome to year 2020-21.
Hi families, welcome back.
Hello parents.
That's good. That's all we got.
All right, and with that being said, that's all we have. And I want to say again, thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. I got a couple of the chat room's got a lot of good questions. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to go ahead and download this chat room. So please type your questions into the chat. Allow myself and Ms. Few to review these questions tonight and tomorrow morning. We'll answer the questions appropriately, and then we can actually send out all the responses either in a Sunday robocall or we can post it to the virtual office. And so a couple of questions that kind of caught my eye is someone asked, can my child's community be switched? Typically, we would say no. There's always extenuating circumstances. And so if there's something that's going on, whether it's a safety or some kind of relationship situation, I would encourage you to just reach out to the main office with your specific needs. But in this environment, especially in junior high, we've tried to balance the communities to the best of our ability. And oftentimes at the high school level, depending on what classes you have already completed and what courses you need to graduate, a lot of times that can dictate which community you may end up in. Again, if there's any kind of safety concern or something that's special and unique, please reach out to the main office and we'll have that conversation, and we'll certainly make the best decision we can. Another question that caught my eye, someone said, the schedule for virtual learning, will it apply to blended learning as well? To a certain degree. We'll still have the even days and the odd days. We will be in a group A and a group B. We will have only half the students in the building at any given time. But as far as the minutes in each bell, in each period, in each class, that'll have to be adjusted when we come back in person. So far, what we've shared is only for the virtual, fully remote 5-week window. When we return in person, we will make an adjustment to the bell schedule and share it out with you appropriately. Another question, I've got a couple more questions here that are popping up. Will students who drive still need to pay for parking passes? So we didn't have a high number of students that were driving to campus last year. The parking passes were $25 last year. That would apply for when we return back to campus. The parking passes will stay at $25. Again, we like to make sure we take care of everyone to the best of our ability. If there's something going on that's unique, we always want and need to hear those unique situations. But across the board, the expectation is parking passes are needed for all students, and they'll be $25, just like they were last school year. Now, I think there's a really important question that refers to either the isolation room or what if a student were to get sick, and we have concerns around this could be a COVID-19 related symptom. We've established an isolation room on the first floor of our building. That isolation room will be staffed and supervised not entirely by our school nurse, but there will be oversight by the school nurse. We will have CPS staff, paraprofessionals to supervise that room. When the students arrive to the door, the first thing that will happen is they'll get a temperature check. If their temperature is high, or if they're displaying symptoms, or if they think they may have been in close contact, we actually have an entire space on our first floor that'll be dedicated to take care of those needs. If we get into a situation where there's a high number of students and this isolation room can't house these situations, we'll do a case by case. We'll take it one step at a time. But if this were to escalate beyond what the isolation room can hold, please have your phones on and make sure your accurate phone numbers are in Power School. One of the things that would happen is we'd call home and ask you to come pick up your son or daughter as soon as possible. And so it's really a good reminder to make sure we've got accurate information as far as home address, phone numbers, and email addresses on file as well. I hope that answered that question for the isolation room or what happens when a student gets sick. All of the contact tracing actually is done through the Hamilton County Health Department. We are following their guidelines, but we want to mitigate some of those situations. And so we have the health checks. We've gone from 1 student entry point to 4 student entry points to keep us spread out a little bit more. We do the temperature checks before you enter the building. We've got hand sanitation statings at every entry point. We've got 6 feet social distance expectations. We've got signage. And we're going to do the best we can in this historic moment. Let's see, I think there's another question that kind of caught my attention, which is really going back to how we opened up. Blue Jeans is a district-approved communication tool for administrators, and it looks like there's a capacity of 160 people. And so here tonight, I've recorded the session. I want to have 24 hours to review the questions of the chat room, to respond, and then I'll get this posted to our school website and virtual office as soon as possible. And so last year's orientation, I think we hosted around 120 guests. We obviously went over that in this virtual environment. I think that's a really good sign. So we'll do the best we can to guarantee everyone gets access to the information we shared tonight. With that being said, we have just passed our 60-minute agenda. I want to say thank you to everyone who joined this call. Again, we're in a historic moment. I am really, really honored to be working alongside some of the finest teachers here in Cincinnati Public Schools. I look forward to seeing all of your sons and daughters participate in the item and the materials pickup Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon, or even Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon, according to the alpha breakdown that we've shared on our school website. That brings us to the conclusion. Thank you all so much for joining us, and I'm going to end the meeting now. Go Gators.
Mr. Porter,
Chomp chomp.
Mr. Porter, may I ask a question real quick? Hello? Mr. Porter?
Yes. Go
Oh,
ahead.
hi. I'm so sorry. I'm a mother, and I'm only going to take up 1 second of your time. I already put in, this is new to me with this like virtual. I just have one question. I need Mrs. Rosalind to call me because Mrs. Roz and my son is Adam Brewer, okay? She and I know what it means. I just put it into either an everyone chat or a private chat. If Miss Roz can call me, she's going to know what I mean by it clicked. Adam had a problem where he was having problems with his math. Either A, if Miss
Okay.
Ross can give me a
So
crash
if you
course.
don't mind, I'd like to, if I
Yes,
can
sir. Go
jump in
ahead. I'm so
respectfully,
sorry.
I don't want to give too much confidential information out. So
I got
is
you.
it okay if you give me a call
I'm
first
proud of
thing
my
in the
son.
morning? I'm going to share
Yes,
my
ma'am.
phone number in the chat room. Please give us a call here at the school, and we will take care of you and Adam. But I'm happy you logged into tonight's call. I
I'm
just
so,
don't want to give out too
again,
much
we had a
personal
death in our
information.
family, and I apologize. So it was a mess. So long story short, I need Miss Ross to call me because me and her were both on Adam's butt, and I've got it clicked. She'll know what I mean.
Okay.
I don't want to get into his personal, medical information, but it clicked, and I just need Miss Rosalind to talk to me. Either A, teach me with the crash course because I am an electrical engineer. All I need is to just do the integers, and I can help Adam. So. And I thank you, Mr. Porter. I appreciate you. You are one heck of a principal. And I want to thank you for taking this time just to understand that my biggest fear was my son moving on without knowing his basics. And Rosalind understood. And I and her was on the same page. So I'm going to let you go. I personally sent out a message for Miss Butts to call me. And if she could, it would take 1 second. And I'm in tears because it clicked. He's learning, and I'm so happy. And I just want Miss Ross to know that. But I just have a couple questions. Miss Rosalind, you are one of the best math teachers I can honestly say, and I thank you. And I just want to talk to you, and I just need a couple tips. That's all I need. And I thank you. And thank you, Mr. Porter, for spending that extra time. And I know that this is all new to us. And guys, we're going to do it this year.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brewer. I am so thankful to have Adam here with us, and I really, really appreciate you hopping on and sharing with us. Between myself and Ms. Roz, we'll get in touch with you tomorrow morning. And we'd love to see Adam also participate in that materials pickup. So thank you. I think I can field maybe 1 or 2 more questions, and I will disconnect the call after 1 or 2 more questions. I want to make sure we respect everyone's time. Parents, let's do this. I can field 1 or 2 questions here. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to ask?
I got a quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
I got a 7th grader coming in, and she's a basketball player, and I know volleyball signups is coming up. Is there anything going on in sports?
Yeah, so right now, the entire district is only allowing small group workouts or individual drill and skill sessions. We do have student athletes that are working out on campus. I want to share a name with you. He's our athletic director. His name is Dave Miller. So if you're able to give us a call in the morning at 363-2600 and ask for Dave Miller, he can really walk you through when you can sign up for volleyball and what does it look like in this COVID-19 environment. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. We got one more question.
I have one more question.
Okay, how we doing?
My name's Tamara Needham, and I'm sorry, not calling. I'm doing this virtual thing. Does it matter where you got the laptop from or no?
No. And so if you got the laptop from any Cincinnati public school site this summer, as long as it's a laptop, I believe you're in good shape. Now, if you're at home and you got a school-assigned iPad, that is not okay. So if you have a school-assigned iPad, we're going to ask that you return the iPad the functionality won't work for what we're running here at our high school. And so if you have an iPad, that's not okay. You want to return the iPad. We're giving every student a laptop this school year. And so if you went in July to any CPS site and picked up a laptop, you should be okay.
Okay, I was just double checking and make for sure. And my other question is what if I want to keep my child at home?
Yeah, I think I respect that absolutely. I think the window to enroll in Cincinnati Digital Academy is probably closed at this point. But for the next 5 weeks, everyone will be at home. And so I believe the expectation is September 14th. Superintendent Mitchell will come back with an update as far as are we going to return on September 28th or will the at-home learning, remote learning be extended? I don't have that answer, but I think September 14th there'll be a board meeting that you'll want to tune into. But for the next 5 weeks, all students will be learning from home. And I think it's pretty clear. Even tonight, we had some highs and lows. We're all going to struggle through this together. We'll be flexible. We'll be patient. We'll just try to take care of each other to the best of our ability. And listen, I can't recall what you said your name was, but I think I can see you on my screen. Miss Tamara. I've got 3 screens in here, and none of them are working well, but we're going to do it together, okay? So thank you all. I'm going to end the meeting. Go Gators. Chomp, chomp.
Yep. I don't know how to work this, man.
Obviously. You can't have my laptop.